With the Raspberry Pi, you can build projects from scratch, or you can buy pre-built circuit boards that fit on top of the GPIO pins. These pre-built projects are referred to as HATs, short for hardware attached on top, and a hat. Hi, I'm Mark Neiman Ross, and welcome to this week's edition of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Every week, we explore the Raspberry Pi and share useful tips. This week, let's look at the Framboisedorf hat, which adds a piano keyboard to the Raspberry Pi. The piano hat from Pi Moroni is fun and easy to install. The board comes with a small piece of foam. Stick it on the back side so it will rest against the HDMI port. Remove the power from the Raspberry Pi, then carefully place the socket over the GPIO pins. I'm going to use the audio port, but there is also audio via Bluetooth or HDMI. Apply power, and when the Raspberry Pi is ready, open up a terminal window. Then type curl get.pymoroni.com/piano hat, and then a vertical bar. It's called the pipeline symbol. You notice that's not a slash. And then the word bash. This will initiate a download and then result in a question. Do you wish to continue? Type in yes or Y. When the installation is done, you can close the terminal window, open up a file browser, and go to Pi Moroni. In there, you'll find a folder called Piano Hat, and you'll find examples and documentation. Open up the examples folder. There are several quick examples of playing with this new piano hat. For example, let's open up the simplepiano.py, and I'm going to open that up in the Thonny Python editor. Now, I've noticed one small error in this code. You may want to fix it. On line 17, insert quotes before and after underbar file, and then save the code. When you run this program, the Pi Moroni code will load some sound samples, and then your keyboard is active. You can play songs. You can change instruments. You can change octaves. And the Piano Hat keyboard will even play more than one note at a time. The Piano Hat is useful beyond just a simple piano. You can reprogram each key press to perform other tasks, or reprogram the LEDs on each key. The example files include sample code showing exactly how to do this. Raspberry Pi hats are an easy way to add functionality to a Raspberry Pi, and as the Framboisedorf hat shows, they can be very entertaining. Other hats add additional programming functionality, and we'll talk about them in a future episode. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Be sure to join the LinkedIn group and check out previous episodes on LinkedIn Learning. I'll see you next week with more Raspberry Pi adventures.